Hi everyone, I'm Seth Robinson, and today I haven't picked out a single story to look at, but that's because today's topic is in lots of stories all the time. And we're not talking about AI for once, we're talking about cybersecurity. October was Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so we're a little bit behind that. But for that month, CompTIA did publish its new State of Cybersecurity Report, which is an annual report that we do trying to look at the trends in cybersecurity and look at how companies are adopting cybersecurity practices and how they are adjusting their skills. This year, we saw something kind of interesting. It seems like sentiment around cybersecurity is warming up a little bit. We've got business executives and line of business employees and technology employees saying that they feel a little bit more satisfied about the state of cybersecurity at their organization. And I think that's for two reasons. One is we've been talking about cybersecurity for a long time. I think there's some amount of fatigue in the market right now. But also a lot of companies have taken steps with their cybersecurity. It might not be sufficient, but they have done something. And we know that cybersecurity is an area where companies find it kind of difficult to measure the impact. So a lot of businesses might feel like they've already taken some action, and maybe they're going to sit on the sidelines a little bit and wait and take more action, or maybe they're just kind of tired of talking about it. I think that both of those ideas are reasonable, but I also think that cybersecurity is a reaction to the technology that companies are adopting. And companies are always going to be adopting new technology. So there's always going to be change in cybersecurity. It can't be something that you fall asleep on. It needs to be something that you stay on top of. And you need to have a good process. You can't just say, well, we invested a ton of money here, maybe that's good enough. You have to be able to do risk management. You have to be able to have some sense of whether or not you as a company are making the right cybersecurity investments. Now, the other thing that we looked at in this study is what exactly companies are reacting to these days. And we identified three major technology trends that are really driving cybersecurity strategy. The first of these is artificial intelligence. It's not the topic of today's episode, but it is one of the main things that companies are pursuing. A lot of companies are chasing AI. They're trying to figure out how to make it more integrated into their workflow. They're trying to figure out how to make it safer. And there's a lot of cybersecurity ramifications that go along with this, including the data that you put in, including the governance that you might have around it. And AI can certainly make those cybersecurity operations a little bit more efficient, just like it can with the operations in any other IT function or any other business function. But AI also raises a new threat for cybersecurity professionals because there's so much cybercrime that is also using AI to become more efficient. And so phishing attacks or ransomware, things that we've had in the past, are becoming supercharged because of AI. And cybersecurity professionals need to learn how to react faster, how to look for those subtle patterns that might indicate that something is amiss in the network. AI definitely has a lot of potential for making businesses more productive, but it has a lot of cybersecurity implications as well. And so companies really need to be on top of their game when they're thinking about how to secure all of these AI tools that they're trying to bring into the organization. The second technology trend is not nearly as popular as AI. It's operational technology. And if you haven't heard this term before, we're talking about the technology that's integrated into physical environments. That might be the lighting or the HVAC system or other sensors around the office. I think in a lot of ways, operational technology, or OT, is kind of the new term for Internet of Things, or IoT, that we used to talk quite a bit about around 5 years ago. All of these sensors, all of these different things that are helping manage physical environments, those used to be managed by building operations or office management. And that was always something very different from the IT function. Now that these things are getting digitized, these two functions are coming together. And the OT people need to learn about IT and what does it mean to get on the network? What types of things do you have to be aware of? The IT people likewise have to learn about OT and what kind of availability are we talking about. Typically, we're looking for even higher availability in these systems than we are with what we would consider high availability IT systems. We have to learn about what kind of vulnerabilities, what kind of threats are there. There's a ton of learning that has to happen on both sides. And we see companies saying that they are putting fairly significant priority on their OT operations in the next year, but they also desperately need both of these sides to learn about each other. There's a big need for training there, and there's a big need to close up these vulnerabilities before they cause some kind of an incident that would have major impact on a business. The third technology trend is data. And talked about data a little bit with AI. We've talked about data quite a bit in the past as we've talked about big data and the need for data analytics or data science. Data is really the lifeblood of a business, and a lot of organizations have come to accept this. Data has always been something that organizations have had laying around, but they haven't always made the best use of it. Now, a lot of companies are very much wanting to get into data analytics or using data to train their AI systems so that they can actually be functional. But what a lot of companies are finding out is if they haven't had good, strong data management practices in terms of database administration or data engineering, data cleaning, those things are really necessary before you can have data at a state that you can analyze it or use it for training. Now, data security is a huge part of this. When we talk about cybersecurity over the past decade, we've talked a ton about the destruction of the secure perimeter and that companies no longer have a firewall that can just surround all of their corporate assets. One of those assets is data. And as data moves outside of corporate systems into cloud providers, whether that be a hybrid situation or a public cloud provider or whatever it might be, there has to be security on the data itself, whether that data is at rest, in motion, or in use. And companies are really figuring out all of these different aspects of data security that they need to incorporate into their data management practices in order to get to these more advanced things that they want to do with their information. So those three trends are really driving and shaping cybersecurity strategy. Again, like I said before, there tends to be a little bit of a warm sentiment around it. People are feeling a little bit better about their cybersecurity within the organization. But as they continue to push forward and adopt these trends, they need to be paying attention to the cybersecurity angle as well. For more of our research, especially the State of Cybersecurity Report, you can check out CompTIA.org. And we will see you next time on TrendWatch.